In the heart of a dense forest, where ancient trees whispered secrets and shadows danced in the moonlight, there stood an old, abandoned mansion. Its windows were shattered, ivy snaked up its walls, and a heavy air of neglect hung around it like a shroud. Legend whispered of the mansion's dark past, of the family who once dwelled within its walls, and the tragedy that befell them on a moonless night many years ago. The family that lived in the mansion was known throughout the region for their reclusive nature and strange practices. Whispers of dark rituals and forbidden magic surrounded their name, casting a sinister aura over the once grand estate. The tale told of a young daughter, Isabella, whose innocent curiosity led her to uncover her family's darkest secrets. It was said that on a fateful night, driven by a desire to understand the mysteries shrouding her home, Isabella ventured into the forbidden depths of the mansion's cellar, where she stumbled upon a hidden chamber filled with ancient tomes and arcane artifacts. Unwittingly, Isabella unleashed a malevolent force that had been imprisoned within the mansion for centuries. The entity, hungry for freedom and fueled by centuries of rage and sorrow, consumed the family one by one, their anguished screams echoing through the halls as they were dragged into the darkness. As time passed, the mansion became a place of dread, its once grand halls now haunted by the tormented spirits of the family and the malevolent entity that had destroyed them. A group of adventurous teenagers, drawn by tales of the mansion's haunted history, decided to spend a night within its decaying confines. They laughed off the warnings of the locals and armed themselves with cameras and flashlights, eager to capture evidence of the supernatural. The group arrived at the mansion as twilight descended, the air thick with anticipation and nervous energy. They crept through the overgrown gardens and slipped through the broken doors, their footsteps echoing through the empty corridors like whispers of the past. As the night deepened and the forest fell silent, strange things began to happen. Whispers echoed through the corridors, footsteps echoed in empty rooms, and shadows seemed to move of their own accord. One by one, the teenagers vanished into the darkness, their screams swallowed by the oppressive silence of the mansion. Panic seized those who remained, their resolve crumbling with each eerie occurrence. In the dim light of dawn, only one of the teenagers stumbled out of the mansion's crumbling entrance, his eyes wide with terror and his mind shattered by what he had witnessed. He spoke of ghostly apparitions, of voices crying out in pain, and of a presence so malevolent that it seemed to seep from the very walls themselves. But what haunted him most were the echoes of the forgotten, the tortured souls trapped within the mansion's decaying embrace, doomed to wander its halls for eternity. From that day forth, the old mansion stood as a silent sentinel, a monument to the horrors that lurked within its crumbling walls. And though the forest reclaimed its territory, and the years wore on, the echoes of the forgotten remained, a warning to all who dared to venture too close. Legends grew around the mansion, warning travelers to steer clear, lest they too become lost in the shadows of its haunted history. In the picturesque countryside of Willowbrook, where the rolling hills kissed the horizon and the gentle breeze carried the scent of wildflowers, loomed the grand silhouette of Willowbrook Manor. Its towering spires pierced the sky, casting long shadows over the surrounding landscape, while its ornate architecture whispered tales of bygone elegance and faded grandeur. But beneath its facade of faded opulence lay a darker truth, a truth whispered in hushed tones by the townsfolk, who spoke of restless spirits and unspeakable horrors that lurked within its decaying walls. For generations, Willowbrook Manor had been a place of intrigue and fear, its once majestic halls now haunted by the echoes of the past. Legends of ghostly apparitions and malevolent entities had woven themselves into the fabric of local folklore, serving as a warning to all who dared to tread within its shadowed confines. Yet, despite the warnings and the palpable sense of dread that hung over the mansion like a shroud, there were those who were drawn to its dark allure, unable to resist the call of the unknown. Among them was Maya, a young woman whose insatiable curiosity and thirst for adventure had led her to the threshold of Willowbrook Manor. With her heart pounding with a mixture of trepidation and excitement, she stood before the mansion's imposing gates, her gaze fixed upon its weathered facade. Beside her stood a group of equally adventurous souls, their faces alight with anticipation as they prepared to embark on a journey into the heart of darkness. Armed with flashlights and cameras, Maya and her companions crossed the threshold into the mansion's dimly lit foyer, the air heavy with the scent of dust and decay. The sound of their footsteps echoed through the empty halls, mingling with the whispers of the past that seemed to linger in the air. Undeterred by the eerie atmosphere, they pressed on, their senses heightened by the thrill of the unknown. As they ventured deeper into the mansion's labyrinthine corridors, they encountered signs of the supernatural that sent shivers down their spines. Doors slammed shut with a force that defied explanation. Cold gusts of wind whispered through the corridors, and ghostly apparitions appeared and vanished in the blink of an eye. Yet, undeterred by the eerie manifestations that surrounded them, Maya and her companions pressed on, their resolve unyielding in the face of the unknown. It wasn't until they reached the mansion's opulent ballroom, with its faded tapestries and crumbling chandeliers, that they encountered the full extent of the darkness that dwelled within Willowbrook Manor. As they stood in the center of the room, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight that filtered through the broken windows, they felt the presence of something ancient and malevolent stirring in the darkness. With a sense of trepidation, Maya called out to the spirits that dwelled within the mansion's decaying walls, her voice echoing through the empty halls. And in that moment, the darkness that had shrouded Willowbrook Manor for centuries began to dissipate, revealing the truth that lay hidden beneath its haunted facade. For within the depths of the mansion's labyrinthine corridors lay the remains of those who had once called Willowbrook Manor home, lost souls whose tragic fate had bound them to the darkness for all eternity. And as Maya and her companions uncovered their secrets, they felt a sense of peace wash over them, a glimmer of hope in the face of overwhelming despair. With the truth finally revealed, Maya and her companions left Willowbrook Manor behind, their hearts heavy yet their spirits lifted by the knowledge that they had confronted the darkness and emerged victorious. And as they walked away from the mansion, they knew that the shadows that had once haunted their every waking moment would trouble them no more, for they had faced their fears and emerged stronger for it. Years had passed since Maya and her companions confronted the darkness that lurked within Willowbrook Manor. Though the memories of that fateful night still lingered in their minds, they had moved on with their lives, their hearts lighter for having faced the shadows that had haunted them for so long. But the legacy of Willowbrook Manor refused to fade into obscurity. The mansion's dark past continued to cast a long shadow over the town of Willowbrook, its memory etched into the very fabric of the community. Yet, despite its tainted history, there were those who believed that the mansion could be redeemed, that its dark halls could be cleansed of the sins of the past. Among them was Maya, who had devoted herself to unraveling the mysteries of Willowbrook Manor once and for all. With the help of her companions, she embarked on a journey to uncover the truth behind the mansion's haunted reputation, determined to bring peace to the restless spirits that dwelled within its decaying walls. Their quest led them deep into the heart of darkness, where they encountered ancient evils and unspeakable horrors that tested their resolve to the breaking point. Yet, with each challenge they faced, Maya and her companions grew stronger, their bond forged in the crucible of adversity. As they delved deeper into the secrets of Willowbrook Manor, they uncovered a tale of betrayal and redemption that spanned centuries. A story of love and loss, of sacrifice and salvation. And in the end, they discovered that the key to unlocking the mansion's true power lay not in fear or darkness, but in the light of hope and forgiveness. With this newfound knowledge, Maya and her companions set out to cleanse Willowbrook Manor of its dark legacy, performing rituals and ceremonies to banish the restless spirits that dwelled within its walls. And as they worked tirelessly to purify the mansion's tainted soul, they felt a sense of peace descend upon them, a feeling of fulfillment that transcended words. In the end, Willowbrook Manor was reborn, a beacon of light in a world shrouded in darkness, its halls filled with the laughter of children and the sound of music once more. And as Maya and her companions stood before the mansion's grand facade, they knew that their journey was far from over, that the legacy of Willowbrook Manor would live on in the hearts of those who dared to believe in the power of redemption. And so, as the sun set over the horizon, casting its warm glow upon the town of Willowbrook, Maya and her companions looked to the future with hope in their hearts, knowing that they had confronted the darkness and emerged victorious. For in the end, It was not the shadows that defined them, but the light that shone within. In the depths of a mysterious forest, a lost traveler walked amidst the darkness. Her name was Eileen. Known for her curiosity and courage, she now faced a darkness she had never encountered before. Eileen's journey into the mysterious forest had become a passion to explore the legends she had heard since childhood. The stories her grandmother told her claimed that ghosts and cursed beings still lurked in the depths of the village. Eileen was determined to unravel this mystery and bravely set out on her journey. However, her journey began in the dark and mysterious labyrinth of the deep forest. As Eileen wandered amidst the hunched branches of the trees, she encountered a darkness that seemed to pull her in further with each step. The silence of the forest enveloped her, and as she struggled to find her way through the shadows, strange sounds and ominous figures crossed her path. In the late hours of the night, Eileen finally reached the mysterious village. Before her stood a silent, ghostly village. The windows of the houses were boarded up, and their doors had decayed. As the wind whispered through the abandoned streets, eerie whispers clawed at her ears. With courage, Eileen pressed on to unravel the dark past. With each step, she felt the presence of ghosts haunting the village. As she wandered through the shadows, she felt strange eyes watching her from the corners, and a strange fear stirred in her heart. But she persisted, determined to uncover the truth. One night, she bravely entered the oldest house in the village. Inside, amidst the pages of an old journal, she discovered the dark secrets of the village. Eileen learned that the village was cursed by a witch who had condemned its inhabitants to the clutches of ghosts and cursed beings. As Eileen explored the pages filled with fear, a strange sensation gripped her. She felt as though the shadows lurking around her were watching her every move. But this did not deter her investigation, for she was determined to uncover the truth. In the heart of the village, Eileen discovered the truth. The witch's curse was fueled by a dark energy that trapped the villagers forever. But with courage and determination, Eileen made one final effort to free the village from this dark curse. On the darkest night of the village, Eileen performed an ancient ritual to break the witch's curse. In a room filled with symbols, she focused her gaze, mind, and heart to break the curse. And in that moment, the dark spirit of the village shattered and was bathed in light. With the dawn of the morning sun, the villagers awoke to feel the end of the curse. The shadows on the walls of their homes disappeared, the dark whispers silenced, and the village came to life once more. Eileen celebrated the village's liberation and left behind the dark past. The village became a symbol of hope and light, and its dark past was forgotten. And as Eileen departed from the village, she was filled with peace and happiness. For what once seemed like a dark nightmare had now turned into a hopeful dream. But Eileen's adventure did not end there. The village's liberation hinted at deeper mysteries lying ahead. A new journey was about to begin, for Eileen faced an even greater challenge: to fight the shadows of the future. With courage and wisdom, Eileen prepared to overcome the challenges she would encounter on her journey. Eileen's epic adventure of fear and salvation continued, crossing the boundaries of magical forests and cursed villages, as she embarked on a journey to discover the hero within herself.